Mind's Eye Visual Guitar Methods back again. Hello, everybody. Wanted to bust out another lesson here just because I've got the time, I guess, while I'm waiting for my van to get repaired. The Harmony van is in jeopardy. It needs a transmission. We are in dire straits here. Just wanted to let the crowd know that in case you're inclined to say, hey, this lesson was really cool and taught me something cool, because I think it's going to do that today. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of today's lesson. Hopefully, my voice was you could hear it back there. Got closer to the mic. So, all right. So, what we're talking about today is this crazy looking thing down here. What I found is that if you take the scale and basically pick a note out of your 12 notes, so let's go from the, divide it into four pieces, you really get some traction without nailing a particular sound or walking up and down scale lines. It kind of gets you out of playing scales. And this is basically it's kind of like an arpeggio game, and it is an arpeggio. However, I like to think of it as um more like a triad plus one. But you'll see in a second here what we got going on here. So let's get into it. What we've got here, this is just the way I'm picturing it. I'm not telling you that this is going to be a breakthrough for you or this is going to be like the way to look at it, but I think this is kind of neat. I kind of picture two arrows here. Um, See the black arrow? I'm playing all those gray notes with E at the high string, the 12th fret. Now, the lowest note there, as you can see, or this note here, they're both connected to the orange arrow. They're part of the boxes that make up that shape. So you can see it's real easy to walk in between them. Now you'll notice I hit an add-on note there. So because I'm concentrating on this shape, it sort of doesn't matter then. It just relax on the scale tones there. We're not playing them in this exercise, and the goal is to do this without them. But if you do walk into one, walk over one, it's okay too. It's not a big deal. So there, I hit one. It was kind of like it worked to make the phrase a response to a call. So, like the first part, we just use the gray boxes for the call. Then we're going to add in this scale tone. I'll put the plus sign over where I added that in. Where I'm going a little off the lesson here. So what I'm trying to get at here is I'm giving you the tip of the iceberg here with this lesson. There is so much you can do and explore with this method. I'm going to show you today. And there's also, I'm going to relate all of this to major. This also works for minor chords too, because every scale has, you're going to see right in this lesson that there is a correspondence to major and minor. Like in the major scale, there's the natural major and natural minor made up of the same scale. So, for example, C major also has A minor as an available minor scale using all the same notes. It's just what your tonal center is if you're making it the A or the C respectively to what I just said. Now, let's not get too heavy into that, or if that kind of went over your head because you're a beginner, don't worry about it. It's not totally part of this lesson. You could just follow the shapes today and get some awesome traction out of this lesson if you're a beginner and a lot of this stuff goes over your head. For those who need, I'm going to just kind of gloss over some theory items, some things that I think are important to know to really, if you want to, see a lesson and go, well, how can I know that? And how can I apply this? And how can I know how this works so I can come up with other things. Then I'll give you some. We're gonna put some notes in here, some theories, some things like that. All right. So, but without trying to go off on too many tangents. So let's break this down into little two bits here, because this is what this is. There's two bits here, and like I said, in the major scale, there's correspondence. There's like for example, A minor and C major. Well, it just so happens that we're going to get the reason I chose two different color arrows is because this black arrow consists of a C major triad with an extra note, and then the orange is basically an A minor triad with its seventh there. So it's just a note of the chord. It's just it's A minor 7. Okay, so we have A minor 7 and C6, which are exactly the same exact notes, which is cool. But you can conceptualize this as using both of these triads, even though it's the same four notes. So it's really cool, and that's why it will work for minor. It helps ease your thinking when you want to grab a quick solo box for something more than just pentatonic. And when you get a chord, and if it's major or minor, you can just think of this one shape. You just have to know where to put it, where to apply it. I'm going to give you some of those ideas today. There's a basic place to put it, and if there was just one basic place to put it, well, then it would be kind of boring and everyone would probably know about it anyways. But there's a whole bunch of different places and options here, and we haven't explored minor, but I'm going to show you how we're going to explore major today and get some cooler tonalities. Some kind of Lydian stuff is going to come out here in a little bit, and so let's stay tuned for that. And I'm going to show you how to use this concept to also jam over a 2-5-1 at the end. So it's going to be pretty wild. We're going to combine this with the same looking shape for the dominant seventh chord has an arrow system that just basically faces the other way. So if you think of these two arrow systems combined, you've got pretty much a solo strategy for any type of chord. And if you can move this up and down the fretboard, you've got any chord available, any actual minor or major or dominant seventh chord. So let's go and check all this out. And like master guitar in one easy lesson. This could be crazy, right? So anyways, we got this. Here's our single out this black arrow here at the bottom here. You can see it's C, E, G with an extra A. That makes a C major triad with an A, which is the 6. So we have a C major 6 chord, which would be like... But here it is in the shape. So you can see that just to get the C minor 6 shape, I was actually grabbing, taking the 5 and playing the 6. Now, what I'm going to do here is go really quick and make an adjustment on the fly here to get my camera a little bit closer now. A little bit closer now. Oh, we got the wrong thing going here. So just give me a second here to go to find my video capture device, go to properties, go to configure video, camera control. Alright. Oh, this thing just annoyed me. Okay. Here we got camera control. We want my mouse is doing something weird here, but now I can get... Oh, that's focused. No, never mind. Sorry, we didn't want to do that. Cancel. Go to camera control, and we're going to go to zoom. It's totally zoomed out. Alright, so let's do this for today's lesson. I think that'll be good. Alright, much better than how I had that before. Sorry for the breakdown here. Let's get back into today's lesson. Okay, so I'm back where I was. In lesson mode. Alright. just playing the that works. Now, just looking at the other shape there, the orange arrow that is connected. So if you're playing one, you don't have to even think about where the other one is. That's the cool thing about this system. It even gets you to an available note, which I'm going to show you right now. You'll hear me sometimes throughout this lesson today in all these shapes playing this note, which is the same as, it's the same leap there. Where it's not, what do you, for the beginners, I just said, what's a leap? Not a half step, not a whole step, but a leap. That's what we're going to call that on today's lesson, which is a flat third for those who know what that is, the interval movement there. But anyways, nothing you have to know, just but to follow along and be clear. So okay, so we got this this other arrow here is, as you can see, if we just play the head of the arrow, you've got C E A or A C E. Part of that chord. So I'm going to play this with a backing track in a second here, but so here's the next thing you want to know. A couple other things here. Over here, this will help you throughout our lesson today and throughout what you want to use to figure this out and put it in your own perspective. You want to know the intervals too. And so, oh, for if you want to consider this in A minor, so this is still C, E, G, and A. So depending on the way you're looking at this, this could be just, then the C would be the root, third, 6, and 5, root 3, 5, 6. But in relation to A minor, the ACE triad plus the flat 7 there, the G, ACEG, for our A minor, 7th chord, chord tones, you'd have a flat 3, a 5, a flat 7, and a root. So that can kind of, things like that will help you out, but it'll also, you're going to have to know the, how to jumble these figures around real fast in your head, because if you were considering this C, E, G, A, then this would be a little bit, this would be obviously different, and I don't want to spend too much time on that tangent, so let's just continue on, because it's not really important to make the sounds and discover what we want to discover with today's lesson and our backing track. So, speaking of backing track, I don't even know if I got that set up properly, but we'll worry about that in a second. So, look, now, as in a similar thing to this, what we want is some fretboard real estate too. So here, this is really cool. This arrow shape, you'll get a lot of mileage out of it, and it's right here. But however, you'll see when we learn different shapes, this also knowing this other piece of real estate here in green and red, and if it looks like a pentatonic box, we'll talk about that in a second. It totally is. This piece of real estate here will help get us, some more real estate on our fretboard, which is just cool. It's what we want. But the main focus of this lesson is just the neat little arrows here. But when we explore other shapes, we can see that we can overlap this to create the other. There's more than one. There's more than this shape. This arpeggiates the chords that we're playing right now. But anyways, this will overlap. It'll just be really cool. You'll see it in a little bit. So anyways, to find this, so if I was here on my highest note, I might walk down to that D, C, C, D, E. We're in C major. So C, A, C, E, G. Once again, you should remember that from up here. I should have probably stressed it, hey, remember these notes, A, C, and E, G. All these what do you call leaps here. There's two of them, and it's the big box. It's just basically the big box from the pentatonic scale is all it is. We're just playing it in a new space here, and all we're doing is we're omitting the 4. So that's what, if you notice that this is like the pentatonic scale with a weird red note there. The red note is the kind of technical do not play note, but you can play it. It's just that use that one sparingly to kind of sound hip. And so I used it as a step to go between two boxes and have a resolve there. But so you'll get the idea in your own playing, to just when if you accidentally use it, it'll still be cool because you're mostly avoiding it. But it is technically available. It's just it puts you in the pentatonic box. You'll wonder why, why does the pentatonic box sound boring? Well, maybe there's one note in there that kind of smooths it out so much that it gets kind of like a family. A station wagon where here you eliminate that and you got a little bit of a convertible happening. All right. So let's move on here. So now this in this vision here, all I'm trying to show you is that so on this side you've got the major triad, and on this side you've got the minor triad, and no matter where you put it, these are always corresponding from one spot to the same spot. So for example, this is the 6 in the C major scale. This is C major, and you can always know this by this. This is the note right here. I'll put a little note in there. That's on C. So you've got C major. What's the corresponding minor in C major? A minor. So this is going to be A minor. This is going to be your 6, and this is going to be your 1. All right, so this is like your 1. Now, however, I could also play this if C was a 4 chord. This could also be thought of as 2 and 4, but there's different ways to make this happen, and it really there's so many creative ways you can use this technique I'm telling you today. This will just be part of the formulas you use to say, what am I doing? What does this mean? How does this relate to each other? So anyways, this could be the 2 and the 4 with the same exact relationship as 6 to 1. There's also the 2 chord in the scale. And this side's all minor, so the 6 minor and the 1 major. The 2 minor relates to the 4 major. So in the key of C, C, D is number 2, and C, D, E, F is number 4. D and F. Here you'd have E and G. So you'd have the E and G as potential to make some music with. Let's see how that works. So I put Y4 here, but I explained that already. These 4 notes basically spread across the octave and give you 4 good notes and leave some space in between for you to pick and choose. Is there a scale tone there that you want to add in? And is there a real so you want to interject some jazz steps in there is what I call them, where you want to make it sound a little bit more of like a jazz flavor and use the rhythm to play, from a real outside tension note back into an inside note. You get that opportunity when you play like this because though they're available in between your notes. You just have to learn all that stuff. That's convenient of me, right? You just have to learn it. Just not on this lesson, right? But anyways, I got all that information. You can piece all that together going through my channel. So here we have the basic chord that we're going to be using today as a when I do my backing track here. Alright, so I'm going to show you how I'll play this gray scale out here. It should be the most vanilla flavored because it's the most basic, right on C major triad with its minor accomplice. But I'm going to show you that there's some other scales I'm going to play to make this interesting. So here's another version of this slid down a whole bunch of steps. Where are we and what does it do? So this, if you remember from a few minutes ago, I told you how to find this one. It's always going to be the this note. So that's on C. If we go down here, let's see, that's the 5th fret, or we'll just count up from here: B, C, D, E, F, G, or E, no, F sharp, G, right, or E, F, and G. So, anyways, we're on. This shape is G major going to its minor accomplish. How do we find the minor from G major? It's always that other one of the pentatonic scale. So here's G at the 5th fret. The open low string is E, right? So there's the pentatonic scale again. Okay, so we can always figure out our accomplices, our E minor, G major, using the pentatonic scale. Remember that, because that's going to come in handy in a second. Now, here we are down here. Okay, now, if you remember earlier when we played the C, and I said there's some real estate down here where we can play a pentatonic. Well, that, you can also think of that as overlaid as the A minor pentatonic. Once again, there's our corresponding A minor, C major. So there, you're going to use that pentatonic. Now remember where we are with our scale. Now let me just play those lines without even any chords, and see if you can hear when I change the idea. I'm going to go from this pentatonic idea. I'll show you back on this sheet here. This scale right here, which is overlapping the exact same area as, whoa, got way ahead of ourselves here. So let's go here and there and there. You can see they're in the same spot, but different shapes. So here we go. I'll just play starting in the pentatonic with the missing note. Kind of changed. Basically, it's like call and response here. I'm gonna make a call. Now the response. So it was more like release to tension to release. All right, and that was just kind of playing noodling, just be above noodling, because there was some intention in there, and you could sort of hear. I think at least maybe it was because I was playing it and I knew where I was going. But all right, so we've got this basically the potential for also now this up here. I'll show you a couple things though still. So down here we've got what intervals are we? This will be real helpful to know. So when we play this same exact shape, but we moved it down to G. I'll replace this 5 with G. We'll just call it G because we know it is. So we've got the 7, 5, 2. The 2 is weird. What's the 2? The 2 is like a 9. So remember 2, 9. This is also what you need to remember if you're a beginner. Get you up to speed really fast. 2 equals 9. 4 equals 11, 6 equals 13. Once again, hammer this into your brain, because nobody told me to hammer it in. This makes everything way easier. Hammer it in. 2 equals 9. 4 equals 11. 6 equals 13. You've got 9, 11, 13, just like you've got 2, 4, and 6. So if you just I could tangent off, but let's not do that today. There's a reason you call that a 9 because you've gone past your upper end of your scale back into the next part of your scale instead of calling it another 2, which you could. It's what I'm calling it here, but you could consider this a 9. Well, how does this really help you play guitar good? All right, so your chord now. What if your chord is a little bit different? Like here, hi ho, it's Kermit the Frog. Speaking of Kermit the Frog, in the green notes here, we've got a C major 7 triad. Nice for all these. All these will work. Be a nice flavor over that, sure. But what about if it's an actual 6/9 chord? Do we have anything to do with a 6/9? Well, we've got that 9 in there. So this would be a great one to use for that. Maybe even better sounding than. So there's that. But what about if you wanted to kind of get a Lydian sound? What if you had more of a stranger chord? So something like that minor 7 we were playing. But let's take that 5 and lower it down to a sharp 4. So now we've got this arrow system here giving us some cool notes that aren't exactly the chord tones, which is cool, but they really correspond to the flavor of that chord because it's got this special flavor note. This is the first 3 notes here are just like any old C major 7 chord. So there's nothing special there, but there's a really cool flavors there. Really cool stuff. But you can also use this even if that flat 4 doesn't show up. I'm going to show you. I'm going to just kind of jam in it and just kind of, use. This is how someone would explain, well, in that line he used Lydian. Did they have to think of the whole Lydian scale? No, I might have just known a little arpeggio trick like this. So how do we get this? This is up. Look at our 9 here. That's the note that this is coming from. That is on what? The D. E, C, D. All right. So that's on the D. D major. What's D major's accomplice in minor? B minor. B minor. D major. So how does that work with C, though? Aren't we playing a C? So, well, you can see here, the simple explanation is the intervals here. The 9, the sharp 4, the 6. So we're getting a 6/9, but with a sharp 4. So it probably worked for a 6/9 too. Let's see. I think it's beautiful with that. And then also with this. You wouldn't have to change arpeggios between both of those chords in your composition. If there's way for you guys to start go use your Studio One or whatever you use, your Pro Tools, whatever you use, and Reaper and whatever to play to make your music, and you got something cool to do today to go explore. If you want music that, gets into those different chords and how do they keep making music, well, this could be the way. So anyways, there's a bit more to say there, but I'll leave it at that. You've got the sharp 4 in there. Your major 7, so it's still like a major chord, and you also got your 2 and your 6 in there, or your 9 and your 13, whatever. So it'll work for those chords. It'll work for a 6/9 chord. Okay, cool. So also with that, I can also put this shape up here. This, if I play this up here, this is all we have to do is go to this bottom set of notes here. It's E and G. We have the accomplices right there. This is coming from our G major, E minor system. So what we're doing is we're playing that. We're never playing this. The gray is the vanilla C major. Maybe I'll go back to that. Let me put on the backing track here and show you guys how all this is going to kind of work here. Now, I've got something. Let me just... What did I do there? I want to do this instead. Cool. Okay, great. I've got my my 2-5-1 backing track coming up, but for right now, all we've got is the one chord, a C major chord. Nothing special about it. So let's go back to this. Hopefully this is not too loud. I've got the feeling that's way louder than my lesson here, so I think I can just do this. Okay, so the clicky thing there was giving it a nice rhythm there that I didn't. That's all I did for rhythm. But anyways, here it is, just a C major chord. Oh, you know what? This means my. If I lower that, sorry folks. Okay, hold on a second here. I didn't want to lower my voice so much. You probably didn't hear anything I said there. So this is just a C major chord, and it won't have any major what do you call it, rhythm to it without the maybe I can add the click there. Volume's a little loud on that, so okay, here's the vanilla. I want to switch to that G now. C again. Still in C, but now we're going to G again, but new place. This is so I can get to that Lydian. This is that Lydian idea. These are all phrase areas. I'm making this phrase. Now I'm changing. Using the pentatonic from that G. So I can shift areas to make it sound like a new statement. I can mix and match all over the place by changing the pentatonic shape to the arrow shape, pentatonic and arrow, and then the vanilla. I'm gonna try I don't know if this is gonna sound good. No, it's gonna suck. For some reason, because it's C major, the 2 and the 4 are the kind of odd man out. In the way that, like, the D and F, if you try to use them, it's that relationship. Even though it's in the C major scale, that's what I didn't find it to sound very appealing. All right, so cool. So there's that. I was in the purple, the green a lot. I was down in the orange and sherbet flavored, whatever. I'm just kidding. But anyways, down here, and then there's a pentatonic that can flow over this. So what I should have done here is done this, and I'm just hell-bent on trying to be clear here. So let me get this down here, copy that, and I'm gonna put a purple pentatonic. How about we do a green pentatonic for the overlay there of the A minor such system. But remember, A minor, C major. So this was playing these vanilla notes here. Switching back to that. What is the where's that Lydian arrow system? Where would that be down here? I think it would be the next one fret up, but I'll leave you guys to figure that out. How about that? So I got one bad note drawn in there. That's not there. We have to go here and there and there. We're trying to leave out where this 2 is here. We're trying not to play that note, but we can. It's available. It just that's like your neutralizer note. For some reason you've been a little outside, you can smooth everything out when you return to your scale by maybe gracing that note a couple times. So for example, if I just went like, so like here I'm going outside. So you see I went, use the 2 in there when I returned to the scale to kind of make sure I was all smoothed back into the system there, and then start avoiding it. Outside. So that you can use that as once you to smooth back into the get the tension released and resolved quickly, and then go back to leaving that out because it's a little bit too, makes everything a little too schmoozed over, and then you're got a noodly scale and so on and so forth. So all right, next order of business here. Then we went over this one, the how it makes a Lydian kind of sound because it's sharp 4, really cool. Now, whoa, hey, okay, sorry. We're going to do something a little kind of different here, but sort of the same. You'll see the green notes and the purple notes. Look at the green notes closely. It makes an arrow, our same arrow system, the same shape we were playing before, the C and the A minor. Now, if you look at the purple notes, there's an arrow going the other way. Just kind of learn how it overlaps the system here. So you can see, like, once I'm on green and I need to go to purple, just try to, wherever you are, just make that half step. And yeah, All right, so that's what we're gonna do here, and let's play our Stevie Wonder backing track here. No, it's not Stevie Wonder. It's 251 in the key of C. Green, purple, green. So I forgot to tell you. Oh, I messed that up. Anyways, it's going to be green, purple, green because the cool thing is we can use green over the well, I can't necessarily. All right, we're going to use green over um the Christmas tree. Now, we're going to use green trying to get my screen back here over the one or the two of the chord. And you're like, one or two? What are you talking about? What's the first chord of a 2-5-1? It's the number one chord, but it's two. It's the two, the D minor, going to the one, the C. But in between there, we got to go to G. But instead, we're going to treat it like a G with a flat nine. Just, you know why? Because it works. So that's going to give us the availability of going green, purple, green. So 2-5-1, green, purple, green. Let's go. Try it. And you guys can try this out yourselves. So you can hear when I use purple where green should have been. It didn't sound great. So, but you still can. That's like using the 5 over the 1. It sounds okay. One, 2 chord, 5 chord, 1 chord, 2, 5. So you can just hear it. Just go green, purple, green. Learn what these intervals are doing. What's a C major? It's basically giving you, I think, 2, 4, and 6, right? Or 2. It's giving you one chord tone. The flat 7 of the D minor chord. Right? That all works. It sounds kind of cool. That sounds cool. Got a lonely sound to it. I like it. Leaving you to add in whatever you want. All of these notes sound good. Approach from a half step below, by the way. So, So you should just, I don't know, I just am hearing it all in the lines now. I never was able to hear this before. Hear the kind of changes happening. Super simple. Why couldn't anybody have showed me this? So okay, the lesson's over here, and I'll do my rambling now. There is something that if you stick around here, I'll say kind of like I feel like I don't know if I even said this in my last lesson. I might have because I kind of wanted to say it, but I think sometimes in my other lessons I'm a little too hard on. I'm a little too grovelly about other creators and knowing full well on how much work they put into their channels that I don't, and I've got really no traction. I've got no reason to be saying, well, they no one ever said this, or they kind of lead you down these other pathways and tell you things you don't need. Hey, everyone's doing their best, and they connect with students the way I don't connect with some students. So it's I think my method here is pretty limited as to who's gonna kind of grasp this, and other people are gonna go, "What is this guy talking about?" So I just wanted to say that I don't mean to be. Sometimes I'm very mouthy, kind of like, and especially in the more of in the past, I've been just kind of a. Hey, look, an Italian from New York, because I'm an Italian from New York when it comes down to it. But kind of like, there's a little bit of that it is probably what's behind it. All my mouthiness. So if you hear that in me, sometimes that's where that's coming from. But otherwise, maybe some of you out there are like, dude, you're right. You see some easy, unbelievably easy stuff on this lesson that basically nobody tells you about. I don't know. So that being said, understanding that I am in dire straits here with a kind of a broken down van. I mean, luckily it runs and drives. I didn't let it get that bad, but I can't do my deliveries that I make money. I exist by hauling freight in a giant Sprinter van. If you want to know more about that, ask in the comments. And I do have you do like Rookie Expediter or something like that. I changed the name recently, so I don't even know what it is because I don't upload to it. But I tell about it a little bit. Anyways, so because it's a whole kind of thing, nobody knows you can do this business, but it's not that great. You don't want to go run out and try it. Anyways, but to do that, you need a quality van. You need something robust. You've got millions of dollars in liability and freight hauling down the road that these customers are depending you to deliver. So you need fully reliable equipment. So that means this thing needs basically a rebuilt transmission, even though it's probably could get by with parts. Anyways, it's going to be big and expensive, and we're not making any income right now. So it's by the end of Christmas time here. I'm going to be in some real financial turmoil here. So if there's any way you can take a look at that channel, the whatever clicky clicks I put down below for links for buy me a coffee or anything. This time of year would go really, really good, really, really far. And hey, I really like coffee. So, okay, I'll leave you with that. Thank you. Check out the merch. Doesn't get me anything anyways, and I don't know how appealing it is, but will be a link to my TeePublic store if you haven't checked it out yet and see the t-shirts we got, some related to this channel, some not. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Leave a comment, obviously engage with this video and say, hey, there was something cool about this, or what did all that mean? And you could do a lot better or something, or who knows? I don't know. It's the internet. Everybody says everything. So say something down below. I don't know. And like and subscribe. Thank you very much. Have a great day. We will talk to you soon.